Hello and welcome to the third part of the tutorial about Vertex animation in Unreal Engine 5. In two previous parts we've seen how the Vertex animation works, the basics, and how to animate multiple parts of a mesh independently, like you can see here. And we also briefly seen how can you use our Easy Vertex Anim plugin to create vertex animations. We recreated this camera here. And in this part, I will be talking about Easy Vertex Anim plugin. And the goal of this video is to teach how to use it. So once you've seen it, you should be able to create those animations yourself. And we will be probably recreating some of those examples from scratch to see how it works exactly. So let's get started. To create a vertex animation for a mesh, we will first place this mesh somewhere in the level. We will maybe scale it a little bit so it's easier to work. And we will also here set up some bounds scale so we don't have shadow artifacts. And now it's ready to be animated. Next thing, the plugin is located in the modeling mode, and then in the end of this toolbar there is the button for the plugin. With the mesh selected, we will activate the plugin and we will see some warnings appearing the first time we open this mesh. So first warning says that this mesh doesn't support material layers, and it will work, but some features of the plugin will not work. So we will not have a preview, and we will not generate a animated material instance. And the second warning said just that we should choose an UV channel to store the pivot painter data in there. Okay, so now the plugin is activated, but we will start by creating this material layer first. So we cancel that. So that's the material of this mesh. It's really just very simple. First, we will transform this into material attributes. So we'll just redirect those wires. Then we will transform the material into use material attributes. Here, check this checkbox. We will use two-sided tool for this particular mesh. We will put here the material attributes layers node, and that where our layers will be plugged. In theory, that's okay already, but to avoid some problems that we can have with Unreal Material compiler, I will put here a default layer, which comes with the plugin too, which is very simple. It actually does nothing, but it connects the word position offset. And this is useful because there's some, I think, bugs in the compiler, and sometimes the word position will not work correctly if you don't connect it here in the default. So sometimes it will just not be animated, but if you connect it here like this, that's okay. Then we apply, save, and now we can continue. So why we are use material attribute layers? First of all, it's really like easy to use. Without the layers, we would have to put all our code that manipulates word position, offset, normals, etc. in the material. That's not even really clear how to do. And then you imagine if the material is already complex, you have to combine all those things. And so if you have a complex material, you can very easily transform it into this form, just like we did here, by redirecting some wires. Another reason is that if you have a mesh with multiple materials, you can create the effect for the mesh and then just plug it as layer to all those materials. And as you can see for this car with 5 materials, it works. You can also imagine to have same mesh animated using different effects with just different material instances and different layers applied to them, like here. So that's mainly the reason. But in the future, we probably will also provide the support for the normal materials, hard-coded version. Now, when we run the plugin again, the warning about material layer disappeared. So the plugin seen that the material layers are here, and the only pop-up that remains is about the missing UV channel. So let's do this. Here you have the same warning, and we really need this UV channel to store the information about the parts of the mesh, as you've seen in the previous parts of this video. So here you have to go here, output UV channel, and you can choose one. So if I choose, I will choose the channel 1 because it's not used. If I choose, for example, channel 0, it will say that the channel already exists, and if it's a valid pivot painter channel, you can use it. And I will say cancel because I don't want to use it. If I say yes, it will try to reconstruct the pivot painter information from this channel, but I don't want to use it in any way, so I just say cancel. And then if I choose the correct channel, the channel 1, it's a new channel, it will just ask if I want to create this channel. Okay, channel is created, so we can proceed. One problem that can occur where we are specifying the UV channel is that this channel is already used by the lightmap UVs. In this case, the plugin will show you this pop-up saying that you need to disable generate lightmap UV or change the UV channel. So in this case, we will need to go in the build setting of LOD0, find the generate lightmap UV and check it and apply changes. And after that, it will work. Now that we have our UV channel set, we can start to separate this mesh in parts. Right now, if you click on it, you see it's just one part. Our goal is to animate separate parts of this mesh. So to separate it in parts, there's here operations, and we have the operations with the prefix UV, means that will create the UVs or modify the UVs. And the UVs, as you remember, define the parts of the mesh. Here there are two operations, split mesh and split selection. So split mesh, it will split the whole mesh, whatever we selected. And typically this is the operation you want to do in the beginning. It has this option weld edges. That means it also capable of if you have like a seam in the middle of a part because you modeled it with like a mirror or something like that. It is capable to find the vertices located in the same place and weld them, making one part. But this operation you can also find it in the modeling tools and do it yourself. So that is just kind of shortcut. So if we now run this operation, we can see here we have polygroup number 1, or just one big polygroup. If we run it, we will split the mesh in polygroups and we create new UVs. As here it says that the polygroup will be generated using connected triangles, and that there is no undo. If you want to generate polygroups using some other method or by hand, you can go to attributes here, and there is paint polygroup or generate polygroup options. Oh, now we generated our polygroups. As you can see, we have many parts. And just to see that all in action, we will choose here anim layer. As before, we will choose the scale. And we already can see the effect. So each part will be scaling towards its own pivot. Now we can check other operations with with. Basically, we have merge selection and split selection. So split, we cannot split anymore, but we can merge. For example, if we want to the front part that goes all together, we can take those and merge selection. And here we can reset the pivot, put the pivot in the middle of the bounding box, or just keep it like it is. We will reset it. So run. And we see now we have one part, and our review here. All this part is scaled together. We can now add maybe those parts too. Run, check, and like we can add everything here by this. So I unselect things by control clicking on them, and then I merge those, and then they are like scaling together. And if I don't like it, I can select everything and go here and say split selection, and it will split. So for example, to start, I can just split this part, and you see they're now acting independently. And you can also see this ring here, its pivot ended somewhere in the middle, because basically when you do split selection, it keeps the attributes of the polygroup though. We can go here and choose a reset. We can do that for everything, and reset pivot location and rotation. Now we are like this, and then of course I can change the pivot, like I can put it somewhere else. So I'm putting all the pivots here. Maybe that's not what we want, but it works too. But maybe that was wrong. I can undo, Ctrl Z, or undo here. And then, like, I want to take just this part, just the body. I put it pivot somewhere else. And then again, it works. The body goes towards the pivot. Then if I press play here, it remains locked. And then I can like change it, change my pivot, and see how it goes. Let's thought that we seen the split and the merge operations. And as you see, also the operation here on the preview are applied as soon as we made them. And one thing I should note here, all those things we are doing on the mesh, creating the UVs and splitting the mesh, here we already created texture, etc. All this is done on the temporary preview. So nothing on the disk has changed. And if I want to change anything, I have to click here on the accept, and those things will be written. And if I click on cancel, all those changes will be discarded. So let's accept it. And we can see here we created some number of assets. First of all, our camera was modified because we brought the new UV channel to it. Then there is a texture storing pivot positions that you can see by this suffix underscore pose. And then we have a material instance and material layer instance, which have this prefix K that comes from the scaled material. So now if I take this material instance and put it on the camera, the effect will automatically play. Let's look inside those. That's the material instance. Here in the details, there's nothing special. There's no haven't that much parameters. And in layer parameters, we have our material layer instance asset, which is just this thing here. And we can see it has some parameters here, and more importantly, it has our texture, which is the texture here. So if we open this one, we can see here we specify the UV channel 1 and the texture. That's more or less all, because this is a very simple material, doesn't have much parameters. So you see how those things are linked. You have the material instance that is linked to the material layer instance that uses the position texture to read the pivot position. And well, this particular setup, it's made like this to simplify the reuse of this material layer instance. So like if you have two materials on this camera, you can just create two material instances and just put the same material layer instance with the same texture, etc. Because the texture and the UVs, as you remember, they are defined for the whole mesh. So if some part is one material, some part is other materials, they will both read from the same texture. Also, if there are some common parameters, they will be also used by all the material instances across the mesh. So now let's see what happens if I run the plugin on this mesh. As you can see, we don't have any pop-ups anymore, any warnings, and the plugin automatically recognizes our UV channel and our anim layer and texture. Everything is loaded automatically, and we can like continue to edit it. And if now I want to, I edited something and like I don't want, I can always click on the cancel button. And then if I don't want to save, I have to click no here. And let's continue to explore the plugin, and for this we will create another effect, the assembly effect, like the one you can see here. First, let's reset everything. We'll split the mesh back in parts. And we will reset all the pivots. Next, let's apply another anim layer. Now, if we play, we see our camera is already assembling, but there is a couple of things to fix. First of all, let's fix the material so the part starts invisible at first. We will open the material, we'll make it masked, and we will turn this detail opacity mask to on. Apply, done. Now if I play, it's already better. but still something is wrong. First of all, I want to remove this rotation, like when pieces arrives, they rotate like so. I don't want this. I will open the anim layer here, and that's the preview of the anim layer. It will be saved when we accept the edits. And here, first of all, I will change the maximum number of rotation to 0. Now, if I play, yeah, and I have to click apply. And now when I play, it just comes straight. Another thing is that the order of appearance of those pieces is important, and here it's a little bit random. So the order in this material, it's saved in the alpha of the position texture, and you can see that here. And you can also see the order if you choose here in visualization order, it will show you the order here. See? So for example, the order of this piece is 0. And then if we want to change it, for example, this, I want to be 1. I can do different things. For example, I can go here and type 1. Then it changed. That you can see when I play, it arrives after the body. I can also do it a little bit faster, so I kind of like select this, and maybe this, all those lateral parts. And then there is an operation called order that will take the first element in selection and then just increment the order of the following. So if I click on this, the order will be incremented. To show it better, we can hide the rest of the camera. So what I did here, first I selected those pieces, then I press it I in order to invert the selection, and there press it H in order to hide. Now I choose this, and click run. And now you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I can press H again and everything is shown. Another way to do this is to use this previous order option. So we can, for example, take this bar, and the previous order was 4. So if I click to run, it will be incremented just with 5, and then here it changed it to. So now if I choose this one becomes 6. And then I can also use the hide option to remove the parts that I already ordered from view. And I can also click on R to run the operation. I can continue to like just selecting and clicking on R. I can continue to do this stuff. And now I can just press H, and you can see everything is numbered now. So if I play, all the parts arrive in order. Now I don't like the direction from where they arrive. And to change the direction, I need to rotate their pivots. For example, those. I can choose them both and rotate like so. So now you see the x-axis looks there. And this material is made so it will be take this direction and make appear the piece in this from this direction. Now let's do that for the rest. Here the bars probably will appear from behind this piece too. And that should be it. But I find it's kind of slow. So here in the material, first I will decrease time to build. Now it's 5 seconds. I put 3 seconds, apply. It's faster. And then I will increment the number of parts that are moving at the same time. Put that to 10, which about half of the parts, and apply. Now it's like so. And finally, I will here remove this checkbox, and it will show some more easing methods. So this one is the just polynomial, and this is one, call it elastic. And if I apply, now it will look like this. Look pretty cool. Well, now I'm satisfied with my animation. I click to accept, and it's done. The new material layer instance here with the suffix ism was generated, and that which is played this animation. So if I open the material instance, in layer parameters you can see this layer instance is used. I can take our previous animation, scale, put it here, it will scale, and I can just reset it to 0, and it will just show a normal static mesh without any animations.